can we please talk about midweek UFC? Midweek UFC coming from Fight Island. I'm good. There's only, this is a quick bonus episode, so it's like, you know, it's a bonus episode following on from some disastrous betting that I did on the fights on Saturday night, but they were fun. Yeah, so I've got a couple of fights on this week's card that I am going to get into. The other thing that I'm going to look at is obviously, you know, we've got the build-up for the big old Conor McGregor return. So I'm going to do a full breakdown of that on Saturday, because that's going to be the night of the fight. I do like to wait until the fighters have weighed in these days, and you know, with the whole COVID thing, I like to try and wait where I can to see that the fighters are actually going in. But I'm sure they will. But yeah, so I thought I would take this time. I hadn't tried it before. And you can see I've got a bottle of it on my desk here. Now, if you know me, I'm a big whiskey drinker. I do really enjoy whiskey. Not so much into the Irish whiskies, if I'm totally honest, which is why I hadn't tried this one previously. But I thought that I would give it a go. So let's start with the proper 12 whiskey review. Now, like I said, got this bottle. It's not particularly expensive, so I wasn't expecting big things, and yeah, I wasn't disappointed, because I shouldn't, you know, I was right to not to expect big things, because it's well, I wanted to like it, I really did, because I actually like McGregor. I didn't start off liking him, but you know, he's just done such a fantastic amount for the sport, and he's an exciting fighter, and he just creates such a buzz, such an event. And you know, I've got a lot of love for him as a fighter. I really do. I'm afraid I do not have a lot of love for this whiskey though. I think it's wow. I mean, to be fair, I think maybe I need to recalibrate my expectations a little bit, because I mean, he's trying to compete with Jameson's, and Jameson's is cheap shit, and this is, I mean, it's definitely on par with Jameson's. I will give it that. I mean, like, I feel like they should have tried to aim higher with this product, because I mean, you look at what The Rock's doing with his Terramana tequila, although I haven't tried that, so I can't really speak to it, and it's a different drink entirely, but he's really pushed for the quality, whereas they say they've pushed for quality in this drink, but I don't see any evidence of that, because it is only a 3-year whiskey. It's a 3-year whiskey, and I didn't know that until actually I tasted it, because the problem is like, when you first taste it, all you get is strong grain alcohol. That's all you get. You might as well be drinking ethanol. Do you know what I mean? That's what you get as a first hit, and then you start to get a bit of that toasted wood that it describes in the tasting notes, just a hint of it, and you think, wow, the other flavours are going to start coming through, because you know what, in a whiskey, I really like a good strong finish. I'm more of a bourbon drinker myself, but I like the kind of the honey, the vanilla, the pears, like that kind of thing that you can get with those whiskey flavours, and sometimes you can get a nice long lingering kind of finish on the whiskey. And I thought, oh, there's a finish about to occur here, and then boom, it's gone. It's just whoop, gone. You get a slight hint of the wood, the toasted wood, and that's it. So then you're forced to repeat again and again, and yeah, all you get is like the kind of the first hit of the grain alcohol, and then the slight woodiness, and then it disappears. I mean, you could argue that as being smooth. I wouldn't. I'd just argue that it doesn't really taste very much, which I do find is a problem with, you know, some Irish whiskies. Redbreast Double Barrel is very good. You know, it's single barrel, sorry. Or was it? Yeah, it's the pot whiskey, isn't it? But yeah, either way. Yeah, I was expecting a better finish from that, especially from something from McGregor's a great finisher. You know, McGregor is a fantastic finisher. It would be lovely if his whiskey finished the same way. Sadly, it does not. I mean, if his goal was just to try and compete with / beat Jameson's, it's like, okay, you know, congratulations, you've produced a cheap, pretty poor whiskey, which in my opinion is what Jameson's is. I mean, would I drink this over Jameson's? Maybe, because I'm a mixed martial arts fan, and you know, the price is right. It's only 24 quid, but for 24 quid you can get yourself a bottle of Buffalo Trace, and Buffalo Trace actually tastes of something. Like in Buffalo Trace, that's only a 4-year. I don't think even the 4-year bourbons are all that. I mean, the thing is, I usually drink the 10-year ones, because I feel like they just have more depth of flavour. Eagle Rare is my usual go-to bottle. That's basically the 10-year version of Buffalo Trace. Shout out Eagle Rare. Best whiskey pound for pound that money can buy, in my opinion. I should really do a review of that sometime. But yeah. Maybe the thing is, right, I don't want to be all doom and gloom about this, because maybe there is some hope if they release maybe a single barrel, a cask strength, maybe if they maybe just look at producing something that's like a 10-year version of this whiskey. Maybe that would work, you know, because all I want is a bit more flavour to it. I don't want, because otherwise you could be drinking any grain alcohol. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on Proper 12. Unfortunately, they're not all that flattering. And like I said, I wanted to like it. You know, I really did. But it's just, I mean, I can't say something's good when it isn't. It just is. It's just not good. I mean, it's drinkable. It's not bad. It's not awful. But it's really just, you know, like there are better whiskies out there for the price point. There actually are. And I think that in this day and age, people are looking for more quality over the cheap crap, and I feel like he's gotten into the cheap crap market at the wrong time. If you wanted the cheap crap market, you should have gotten in there, you know, in the early 2000s, late 90s, when that's all there was to offer and people were buying it up. But now there's an awful lot more choice out there for people. There is no excuse for drinking crap, and there's really no excuse for drinking this. So I mean, I will be drinking it anyway. I bought a litre of the fucking stuff. I mean, I will be having a Proper 12 when McGregor returns to the octagon, which I can't wait for, by the way. I'm a big fan of McGregor, actually. He really turned me around. I wasn't at first, but you know what? He really had turned me around. I will be toasting with a glass of Proper 12. I will not enjoy it, but it's no, it is what it is. You know, it'll go alongside my beer, and that's that really. So moving on. We do have some more fights that are going to be on tomorrow at a normal time. And one of the fights I am most interested in is Mr. Mounir Lazzez is returning against Mounir Lazzez. Now, I'll bring the odds up here. You've got Lazzez as the favourite, and rightly so, in my opinion. He's the 1.40 there. The knockout is 2.25, and that is what I will be going for. And the reasons why is what you need to do, if you're not familiar with Mounir Lazzez, just head on back to the first Fight Island, just stroll on back there and check out his fight with, who was it? It was Al Hassan, yeah, Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Now, Abdul Razak Al Hassan, I kind of favoured him in that fight when I didn't know who Mounir Lazzez was, right? And the fact that Mounir Lazzez was able to really put on an absolute clinic against Al Hassan really says something, because Al Hassan is a beast in his own right. He really is. He's an absolute beast. But Mounir Lazzez, he was throwing kicks and moving like no one I've ever seen. Like I really, it was a crazy fight, and it was just the way he moved, man. I just really enjoyed watching him fight, and it's for me. I do think that it's Mounir Lazzez by knockout. I don't think there's going to be any surprises here, although we had some big surprises on the fight card on Saturday night. You know, Mr. Buckley. You know, I think it's fair to say everyone was surprised by that. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can't count Mounir Lazzez out of this fight. You know, he's 9-1 against to get the knockout. He has knockouts, but he prefers to go for the submission, which is 7.5. But yeah, Mounir Lazzez, I do think that he puts him away, probably somewhere in the second round with one of his kicks. His striking was just so smooth. And yeah, I think this is going to be like a coming out party for him. And yeah, I just look forward to seeing more of Mounir Lazzez. And yeah, so Mounir Lazzez by knockout TKO. So we also got the main event, which is Michael Chiesa versus Neil Magny. Neil Magny, friend of the show. He doesn't know it, but he is a friend of the show. We had a good conversation once at UFC Fight Night 90, which was where Eddie Alvarez won the title off of Rafael dos Anjos. And yeah, so we actually just sat and had a chat. He's a really lovely guy. And yeah, so in this one, Magny is coming in as the favourite, and rightfully so. He should be able to outclass Chiesa in this one. Now, that's no disrespect to Chiesa. He's had a pretty good run of form because this one's at welterweight. He used to fight at lightweight, you see, and he feels like he can train better and be bigger when he's not making that cut. And to be fair, his results lately have reflected that. He did submit Carlos Condit not too long ago, but Condit's not looked like the Condit of old. Even though Condit's been winning his last 2 fights, I don't think he necessarily looks like what he was. He also beat Diego Sanchez. It's like, with respect to Diego Sanchez, he's not exactly in his prime fighting years, and he has been getting beaten by a lot of people. Now, Chiesa's win over Dos Anjos, that was pretty impressive, but I do feel like Magny is a tougher test than all of them. I think Magny is severely underrated. Like he kind of quietly flies under the radar, but Magny is just very technically good in every area, really. He knows how to strike long. He's very good at keeping his opponents at bay. And I actually see him getting the finish in this one, because the thing is this is a 5-round fight. Okay, it's a main event. So I think that Neil Magny is probably going to get the finish here. I do think he gets it from top position, and he's just going to land enough strikes to overwhelm Chiesa, and Chiesa's going to be looking for submissions all the time because that's what he does, but I don't feel like he's going to find it against Magny, and Magny's going to get the TKO win somewhere in the 4th or 5th round. It'll be a later round stoppage, but that is what I am going for there. Now, what I've done is because obviously, you know, betting on one of those bets individually is just not nearly terrible enough. So I have taken Mr. Mounir Lazzez by knockout and Neil Magny by knockout. Combine them both together. 13.50. I will take that for a little midweek flutter. I'm not going to go too crazy on a midweek fight card, but I will enjoy watching it, and it's going to be a nice little warm up for old Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier coming up at the weekend. But I'm going to be waiting to break that one down on Saturday, because obviously we've got the press conference to look forward to, and I want to be able to recap all of that, and I'll recap all of my bets from Saturday's card as well, because wow, they did not go well. Even though it was outstanding, there's a lot to talk about on that fight card. So until Saturday, people, if you enjoy this content, please give me a like, give me a subscribe. But until Saturday, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.